What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for we rushed here. We absolutely rushed here to the studio this morning after the news that Spurs have signed Wilson Odoberu from Burnley.
Spoilers
For the fee of 25 million. I mean, it is in the title. If you don't know by now, you must be sleeping under a rock. But what a turn of events. Absolutely nobody was speaking about Odoberu to Spurs at all. And then this morning, it all just absolutely spiraled. And I don't really know how to feel about it at this moment in time. It's all just caught me a bit by surprise.
You get that dopamine rush of a new
I do get the dopamine rush for sure. I just have a few question marks about the signing. But I think, look, we'll get into that in a minute. I just want to show you how it did unravel this morning. We've got our winger. We've got our attack, looks like, which is going to be... Well, we got our winger signing. That's what we wanted. We got our striker signing. And let's see how it did unfold. So let's go over to Twitter. Oh, Spurs actually straight away said, "We are delighted to announce that we have reached an agreement with the permanent transfer of Wilson Odoberu from Burnley, subject to formalities." Then Sasha Tavaleri came back in saying, "Exclusive news now confirmed by Spurs account. Wilson Odoberu to Spurs official."
So you can see the timings. Tavaleri tweeted at 10:05. And Spurs tweeted at 10:30.
And I was like, is this the quickest announcement Spurs have ever done in the history of the football club? It must be.
In this, I think, from literally the first rumour, 25 minutes later is an official announcement.
But the first rumour was he's already had his medical. Like, Johan Lange is really working in the darkness
like
here.
Batman, this guy.
Seriously, because we heard about this from his Aston Villa days we saw last year. Aston Villa would just make 3 or 4 signings out of nowhere. And I guess we had a little bit of a taste of it, but we had been linked with Dominic Solanke before. But this one literally has come out of absolutely nowhere. Spurs did confirm that his contract's going to run until 2029, and he is going to wear the shirt number 28. I hope that's not a bad omen with Tanguy Ndombele's number. Wilson Odoberu as well confirmed on Instagram that he's a Spurs player, tagging Spurs official in his bio. Paul O'Keefe says Odoberu fully coys. Ali Gold says a Friday morning surprise, a new Spurs signing. Wilson Odoberu played much of last season on the wing, mostly on the left, but sometimes on the right. He can also play up front as an attacking midfielder as well. He's Burnley's youngest ever goal scorer, and he says he understands Wilson Odoberu deal will cost Spurs 25 million plus potentially another 5 million in add-ons. And then Romano finally chimed in after all that. He got there in the end. He says official Spurs signed Wilson Odoberu from Burnley, 19-year-old, has agreed a deal that will run until 2029 and will wear the shirt 28. And then Burnley did confirm that they say, "We can confirm that Wilson Odoberu has joined Tottenham for an undisclosed fee. Everyone here would like to wish Wilson all the best and thank him for his efforts during his time at Turf Moor." But what's your kind of initial reaction? And forget about your initial reaction. If I told you at the back end of last season, we need a number 9, we need a right winger, and we're going to be signing Solanke and Odoberu for, what, close to 100 million, would you have taken that?
Probably not at the back end of last season, but I think I appreciate what the scouting department have seen in Wilson Odoberu, looking at him closely. He's actually kind of the winger we do need. He's definitely the right profile. Clearly, he's a very talented young player. He's 19 years of age. He's 20 years of age. Is he 20 or
19?
He's 19. He's going to be 20 in a couple months' time. But looking at what he did in the Premier League last season at 19 is actually really impressive. I do remember looking at him last season and actually being kind of impressed with what he did for Burnley. I wasn't sitting here saying last season, "Oh my God, this guy is someone who we really need to sign," or like, "We definitely need him through the door." But I definitely remember watching him a few times for Burnley last season, thinking this guy is actually really handy. This guy looks sharp. He can take people on. I was watching some compilations of him just before, and what really stood out for me in the compilations was how many of those actions were against top teams. A lot of those actions were against the likes of Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Spurs as well, a lot last season. So he's clearly one who's not scared of the opposition, not scared of the name who he's facing, and can make things happen even for a Burnley side who struggled for a lot of last season, didn't, maybe struggling for possession as well against a lot of these kind of really high quality teams, yet he's able to, when he picks up the ball, be effective, take people on and make something happen. He's clearly a very, very exciting winger. And I think from a data point of view, definitely he lines up. He definitely looks really, really good. We'll go into that in a bit. But If we're obviously when we're comparing him to in terms of names to Eze, Neto, maybe even Douye. I mean to be fair, Douye is obviously a year younger, but is there much difference in what they've done in the game, Douye and Odoberu? Probably not, albeit Douye's maybe done it or did it for Rennes in Ligue 1, but Odoberu, was doing it in the Premier League for Burnley, for a relegated Burnley side, which you could argue is a lot harder. I think obviously the concerns are, does predominantly play on the left-hand side, albeit, again, when I'm watching his compilation, he does seem to do a lot of his good work from the right anyway, so he definitely looks like a role he can play.
He did only play 5 games in the Premier League as a right winger last year.
Yeah, which goes to show that he must be decent if a lot of his work in the compilations and from the right must have had some good games there.
In terms of what he produced last year in a Burnley shirt in the Premier League, it was 13 games as a left winger, 2 goals, 2 assists, 7 games as a centre forward, just 1 assist, and right winger 5 games and 1 goal. That's where he stacked up for last season.
Yeah, but you remember he's 19. It was his first season in the Premier League, and he's still going to be mouldable, and he's still Ange will decide where to play him. Whether he can't play on the right or not, that remains to be seen. But from what I can see, he seems quite adept at playing either side. And he seems fairly two-footed as well.
But the thing, I like him as a player, I really do, and I think he's got blistering pace, really good 1v1 dribbler. Obviously, he's got a big future in this game, but Spurs clearly wanted Pedro Neto, right, as the right winger signing going into next season. Pedro Neto is one of the best right wingers in the Premier League when he's on the pitch. Obviously, those injury problems, but that's a completely separate point to what I'm trying to make. If you're trying to sign Pedro Neto for 40 million plus skip, that was the bid that we put in. Why have we gone for a complete, an up-and-coming player now where he's 19 years of age? Why haven't we pushed the boat out again on someone that's ready-made, ready to come in and really push Brennan next season?
Because we've looked at Odoberu and we've decided that he, in terms of what we're looking for from a winger, he definitely matches that. Just because he's 19 doesn't mean he's not ready to make an impact. You saw he made an impact in the Premier League last season.
I get that, but we're signing so many teenagers now. We've got Bergvall in there, we got Archie Gray, now we got Mikey Moore, who we're introducing at 17 years of age. We've got a lot of teenagers in this squad now. And, we moved into this stadium. We were going for Pedro Neto, which was a completely different kind of stage of the career. Pedro Neto is going into his prime now. Solanke's in his prime, so that's a great signing in itself. And I was just under the assumption that the right winger that we were going to sign is someone more ready-made, ready to come in right now and completely hit the ground running. Odoberu, he might do that, but at 19 years of age, you would think he would need a bit of an adjustment period. He's not the finished article right now. And I thought we were really trying to push the boat out to get those kind of players through the door. And you look at our summer business, Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, and now Odoberu, all 3 of them are teenagers. I just feel like we might be filling the squad with too many teenagers at one time. And, Ange clearly said last season, he wants to challenge for the league this year. The first option was Pedro Neto. So I just don't understand why we're going for a completely different kind of profile. Maybe not a different profile, but a different player at the different stage of his career, when we should be going for someone of the ages of 23 plus that that can come in and be a leading star in the Premier League straight away. I'm happy. I mean, he is an exciting player. He's a very exciting player to have. So I think he's a player that will get bums off seats once we're in the stadium. It just when you're going for someone like Pedro Neto, it's just a bit underwhelming when you bring in someone with a name like Wilson Odoberu. Regardless of my feelings towards the transfer, I do think he's a really good player. I do think he'll fit the system. I do think he will actually be good for us. But I just wanted someone more ready-made to come in right now. And if this is the signing that Ange really wants, and he thinks that he can take us up to the next level and really impact the team next season, then I'm all for it. I really am. As much as you guys might think I'm coming across as a bit negative towards the signing, I'm going to back it completely, and I do think he's going to be an exciting player, and he will get a lot of bums off seats at the Lane this season.
Exactly, and I'm really happy again. We've followed the data, we've looked at the value in the market, and we've gone for a player we really believe could really fit what we need to do. And we spent 30 million on him, and it could be a really smart piece of business. And I think that's what we need to do where we are as a club right now. I think these are really smart pieces of business that are going to really set us up for the future. And I think Odoberu is a really, really exciting winger, in my opinion.
So yeah, that is it. Spurs have signed Wilson Odoberu for £25 million plus potential £5 in bonuses.